sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks NBA Trade Deadline Special. It's still Thursday, February 6th, 2025. We are officially less than an hour away from the 3 p.m. Eastern trade deadline. I'm Jay Skeets, still here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
Ayo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Can you hear yourself?
Yes, you can, JD.
Yeah, it happened
Great.
mid-sentence for what Skeets was saying. We started hearing things.
Yeah, the sad part is, I don't know what that sexy new intro sounded like. Couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
It's
I'll have
on
to
tape.
go back. Yeah, I'll have to
it's
go
on
back
tape.
and check it out on YouTube. Hello to everybody, back maybe for the second time today, maybe for the 8th time over the last 5 days that we've done a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, baby.
Appreciate you. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Here we go. We're going to be here for the next hour or so, hopefully going through some more trades that we get trickling in as we get up to that deadline. Like I said, if you missed this morning's podcast, we talked about the big deals last night. Jimmy Butler to the Warriors, which we also did an emergency podcast for. Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. We were a little torn on that one, trying to make sense of it. What are you doing, Masai? And then Mark Williams to the Lakers, among other of those big deals from yesterday, sort of last night. But we got some other ones that are coming in here. For a while, it looked like we were going to be doing an hour on Davion Mitchell. Thankfully, we're not, because the biggest one so far, with about 50 minutes to go, was the Atlanta Hawks trading forward DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Karis LeVert, George Niang, drive the minivan down, 3 second-round picks, and 2 swaps. So the Hawks getting off of Hunter here, playing the best basketball of his career, in terms of coming off the bench, scoring a lot, decent percentages. They trade him to the Cavs, who he maybe fits a role there for.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think? You know my opinions of DeAndre Hunter. Let's hear yours. Yeah.
Well, you seemed a little disappointed doing the intro that maybe this wasn't a big name enough for you, DeAndre Hunter.
It's definitely not.
Well,
But, I
come on.
can't get greedy
This
here
is
either.
the
We've
number
had-
one seed in the East saying, we need a guy. And they go get DeAndre Hunter.
Do you
It's a
think
trade.
he's much better than Karis LeVert?
I think
They do
Karis-
different things, but yeah.
Karis LeVert has had a very good season, but DeAndre Hunter has had a great season. Yeah, this year, DeAndre Hunter is playing the ball of his career, especially against the Cavs. 26, 23, and 25 versus the Cavs. Shooting 56% in the 3 games versus the Cavs this season. He looks great coming off the bench. It was a blessing in disguise for him that he got injured after the first 2 games of the season he was starting. He gets injured, comes off the bench when he comes back, and plays his best ball of his career, by far.
Yeah.
He's been phenomenal.
So why are the Hawks getting rid of him?
Money. Yeah,
Yes.
It's a long-term deal that they want to get off his money. It's piggybacking off what they did with DeJounte Murray in the offseason. They're trying to get off the long-term deals. Who knows? We got 50 minutes left. Could be a Bogdan Bogdanović coming. Piggyback on that. Could be a Clint Capella to piggyback on that. But I do think this is an upgrade for the Cavs. He's a bigger player than Karis LeVert. I do think he comes off the bench.
You don't think he starts?
I don't think so. That's where he has excelled, being at the guy. Karis LeVert made plays happen with that bench. DeAndre Hunter isn't a playmaker. He's a scorer and a scorer only.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think the Cavs willing to take 2 years of guaranteed money of Karis LeVert after this. Of DeAndre Hunter after this year is a bold move. They think that they are a championship team, which is understandable.
Yeah.
They look great.
What do you think, TK?
I think this is honestly good for both teams. I like it for the Cavs because they're in first place right now. They traded 2 guys who are on the back end of the rotation. Basically, their 6th and 8th man in Karis LeVert and George Niang. And they got a guy who could start. I think it'll be a question mark. Is he the 5th man or is he the 6th man? The Cavs have, in general, the past couple of seasons slotted in different guys depending on the matchup. Maybe that's what they continue to do. They were going to have to pay Karis LeVert this summer anyways if they wanted to keep him around, so they got a little certainty here with DeAndre Hunter, like Tass mentioned. He's bigger than LeVert. He's more of a wing. LeVert's a guard. Hunter hasn't quite become the defensive player that he was touted as when he got drafted, but maybe he can throw it back there if he doesn't have to do as much on the offensive end, because we know Cleveland's offense is really good here. And then if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you got a little bit of draft stuff, 2nd round picks. These swaps aren't all that good. It's basically they get the worst of the Cavs and the Utah Jazz. So you're going to probably be picking at the back end of the first round, but still they've got their picks heading out to the Spurs. So they got a little something there. LeVert will be helpful. They're going to need somebody to score the ball because Bogdanović hasn't had a great season. Niang will probably be in the lineup, a 3-point shooter. That's something the Hawks need as well. So I think Atlanta got a little bit cheaper. Eventually, because they're going to have to probably do something with like a Cody Zeller, or maybe one of these guys moves on so that they can get under the luxury tax. And Cleveland probably got a tiny bit better. Most of the big names are gone from on the trade market. So I think this is probably the best the Cavs could do, and they went out and did it. They said, we got a chance this year.
Yeah.
Let's increase our odds as much as we can.
Yeah, and from the Hawks side of things, I think it is pretty amazing. They're selling high here on DeAndre Hunter because, if you had gone last year, you probably would have been having to attach picks to get off the Hunter deal and sort of how poor he was playing and the injury bug and all that. But him, popping off this year, sort of being in the sixth man of the year conversation, giving you 19. Again, I've made my opinions felt about this guy. He just has disappointed too many times over the years, but over at least 40 games or so, he's balled out. I got to give him that. And the Cavs think, maybe that is the piece as that 6'8", sort of more physical guy than a Caris LeVert. Now he's a better playmaker, Hunter a better scorer. It's different type of player at that position, but maybe that's really what they need in a potential series with the Boston Celtics, if they were to match up, or even the Knicks for that matter, where you're going to have to try and slow some wing players down.
Right, and the rotation against the Boston Celtics wasn't all that good. George Niang specifically just looked a little too slow against the Celtics' athletic team. DeAndre Hunter is an upgrade on that. Now, Cam Johnson probably wasn't available, or they couldn't pay enough for Cam Johnson.
Right.
So that's what it seems like right here. But DeAndre Hunter has had a season. He gets a $250,000 bonus if they do make the finals. In 2 different years of his contract. Johnny Hollinger informing us of that. So $250K, huge. It's in 26 and 27 though.
Oh no! So he's screwed if the Cavs make the finals this year. He doesn't get that money. Unfortunate for him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe he's got 2 different bonuses if he hits the 70-game threshold John is writing about.
Okay.
Maybe that's the 26 and 27 part. Either way, all I want to say is that he dunked on Victor Wembanyama, and that isn't celebrated enough. Nobody noticed.
Is that DeAndre Hunter's greatest moment as a Hawks player?
Let me sit back and think about that. From what I remember, absolutely. Yes.
I know he had a big playoff game once. He scored 35 in a playoff game. I do remember that. But I am drawing a blank on any other really, truly memorable DeAndre Hunter moments. But I remember the Wemby dunk. Now, it just happened not too long ago.
But it was big. Why don't people remember that? It was during the holidays. Actually, it was during the Christmas holidays.
Got a low dunk score, I guess.
It was with 10 seconds left in the game.
TK, you're good at this. Are we forgetting a memorable Hunter Hawks moment?
Conference finals. He was there.
He was there.
Yeah, to celebrate with the team.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool.
He went to the NBA Cup.
He went to the Cup quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals.
Yeah, not bad. For me, the most memorable stretch of DeAndre Hunter is this year. Saying this guy's the 6th man of the year, and then he started balling out. And maybe he could have been 6th man of the year. I don't know. Does this increase his odds? He'll have more eyeballs on him. We'll see if he's actually the 6th man. But I think good stuff from the Cavs.
Okay, and like you said, you slipped it in here. Are the Hawks done? Are they trying to get somebody to take Bogi? Oh, the Capella factor of this, maybe trying to move off him if they feel like Okongwu is their guy. It does feel like that. And that's the thing here, too, with Hunter. They're like, we got Jalen Johnson. We're good there. We feel pretty confident about that. Obviously injured now, but moving forward. So you're going to get off of Hunter here. And the deal that you signed, what's he get? It's not an insane contract, right? It maybe was at the time, but now it's like 23, 24, 25 million for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah,
yes. Acceptable.
It's acceptable, it is, especially when he plays like this. Mm-hmm. If he can continue to play like this, and if he can continue to stay healthy, which are always big question marks with this guy. All right, let's keep it moving. The Suns are trading Jusuf Nurkic and a 2026 first-round pick to the Hornets for Cody Martin, Micic, and a 2026 second-round pick. So the Suns say goodbye to Nurkic. He wasn't even talking to Mike Budenholzer. You have to assume he found out on Twitter, just like the rest of us.
He's pretty active. on Twitter.
Okay. I think he saw the Shams tweet.
Jusuf Nurkic loves to search for his own name on Twitter.
Okay, interesting. Well, I assume he found out that he was dealt to the Hornets, who, had a gaping hole there at center after they made some moves. Though I was ready for Diabate time, but here comes Nurk, it took a first-round pick to get off of that Nurkic deal, and they get some things back, and maybe Cody Martin can help this Suns team. But I'll start with you, TK. Your grades, your breakdown, your takeaways of this blockbuster.
The Jusuf Nurkic era in Phoenix was not worth it. They should have just kept DeAndre Ayton.
Yes.
Right?
That's funny you say that. I saw Mark Deeks, who's really good at this stuff. He went through the timeline here, and it's amazing. The Suns drafted Ayton ahead of Luka Doncic. Okay, they took him number 1, and, he was a well-respected number 1 pick coming out of college. They traded Ayton and Kamara for Jusuf Nurkic, Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. They waived Johnson. They waived Little. And now they salary dumped Nurkic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did not go well. The Suns as he wrote, the Suns effectively turned a number 1 pick into Grayson Allen.
They had Luka Doncic's Slovenian national team coach as their coach for that draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, just take the generational superstar. Easy solution here, but that's all in the past. The Suns have had a pretty bad trade deadline. They traded a 2031 future pick, thinking they're going to be able to pull off a Jimmy Butler move and then use one of these, which they did, to get off the Nurkic contract. It seemed like it was going to take 2 to trade Beal. Obviously, that didn't happen, so now they just traded that 2031 future pick to salary dump Nurkic. That's bad. Obviously, Kevin Durant is still around after being in trade rumors for the past week. Ramona Shelburne reporting on ESPN that the locker room is toxic since nobody really wants to be there, Nurkic included. I'm sure he's happy to be going to the Hornets. Maybe he's a fantasy pickup for you, Skeets. Who else is scoring there?
Yeah.
LaMelo's out. Mark Williams is gone. Brandon Miller's
gone.
Even Micic isn't around to handle the ball anymore. That's going to be Nurkic time.
The guy from
Queen
Charlotte
City.
came and took his job in Phoenix, essentially. Nick Richards, who they acquired 3 weeks ago, which is really strange.
Not great.
No,
not great at all.
No. Yeah, it was a horrible run there. I thought it was going to be good. I thought Mike Budenholzer with a 3-point shooting center was going to work out like it sort of did here in Atlanta with your Pero Antiches. I mean, they just he asked guys to step out and shoot threes. He was doing that in the offseason in the videos that you commonly see just on the practice court. So I thought him and Budenholzer had a connection. Apparently, he hadn't talked to him in months, and I imagine that he didn't inform him that he was being dealt because they unfortunately did not talk. So is this a move for the Phoenix? Is it a positive move for the Phoenix Suns in terms of the guys getting back? They're getting back in Cody Martin. Kind of take some of the Josh Okogie minutes that they've let go. Sure, maybe. Vasilij Micic. I know people probably don't see him play a lot, but I could see him playing with a Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in terms of just passing it to everybody. And he's shooting an average 3-point shot percentage this year. Anyway, really it's just about getting off Jusuf Nurkic, and that's what it's about.
Exactly.
And here, let's talk about the Suns, because here's where we're left with them as we get up to the deadline here. If there's no more moves to be made by them, it's have they lost Kevin Durant over the last 48 hours or last couple days because of all the trade rumors and how he feels with other guys in this locker room? Like, he does not seem like the type of guy that just lets things go easily, just rolls off his back. No, it doesn't. That's not him. So can they sort of get him back with his mindset to lead this team? Because that's the worry, that it's just like craters even more from here. After again he was included in all these trade discussions.
That's exactly the worry. I guess if you're looking for a silver lining for the Phoenix Suns, it's that Micic is a team option for next year, and I believe this was Cody Martin, right? This is Cody Martin. He's got a non-guaranteed contract, so neither of those guys are going to be on the team next year, which saves the Suns a bunch of money, which puts them underneath the second apron, which maybe gives them a chance to make some sort of move to change the team up. That could be Kevin Durant. They're going to probably address that come summertime, since they obviously can't do it unless something happens in the next 30 minutes here. Otherwise, they're going to be figuring it out for him.
Okay. Yeah, I just wonder with Kevin Durant, shouldn't he just be appreciative. Shouldn't he? He should feel like he's wanted by other teams. When Golden State says, knock, knock, we want you very badly, I don't think it should be that the Phoenix Suns get ripped for picking up the phone. I don't think Phoenix was out there shopping him. But either way, it's all about perspective here.
What do you got here, Ash?
All right, the Clippers have traded Terrence Mann and Bones Highland to the Atlanta Hawks for Bogdan Bogdanović
There we go.
and 3 second-round picks.
Hey!
Okay, so Terrence Mann, Bones Highland coming to Atlanta, Bogi going to the Clips with a couple second-round picks. There we go. We literally just talked it into existence. Well, okay, Bogi's probably next. Your immediate reaction here at the desk.
Yeah, the Hawks want to get off Bogdan Bogdanović and his 1.5 years left on his contract because the second one's sort of non-guaranteed. So they give 3 second-round picks along with it to get onto LA's bench and be that number one guy over Terrence Mann, who hasn't played a ton this season but has looked decent, and Bones Highland, who is out of the rotation entirely, basically. It's an upgrade for the Los Angeles Clippers. They got scoring. Bogdan also has not had a good year. He has not been himself. So it's a risk, I suppose. They've
The opposite of trading high on Hunter. They're trading, unfortunately, low on Bogdanović.
They've given up on Terrence Mann, which is an interesting thing. But Bogdan's a different player. He was a great scorer.
Yeah, he was really banged up last season, then had the Olympics run with Serbia over the summer, and it seems to have affected him because he just doesn't look like the same player at all. So I think that if Bogdanović can regain any sort of the form that he's had as like a 6th man of the year candidate in the past, this helps the Clippers. Otherwise, I don't necessarily know how much he's going to be playing for that team because they got a lot of good guard options that you're going with ahead of Bogdanović. It is kind of odd that they gave up on Terrence Mann. He seemed to be a piece that they were adamant about keeping around with the James Harden trade. Obviously, they were able to hang on to him, but he fits here in Atlanta because if you walk around, you can find chicken bones on the ground all the time. Bones Highland, man.
That's true. Man, you got to be careful when you're walking your dog here in Atlanta, man. Oh, put that down, Luna. You're going to choke on that. As for the Clips, I'm with you at least, like, if he can get back to some of his three-point shooting that we've seen him do before, they could use that. That's where the Clippers are pretty bottom of the barrel in the league in terms of making threes, in terms of three-point attempts. They're not bad. They're average when it comes to hitting them, but they're just quite low in terms of volume. So maybe a guy coming off the bench sort of unlocks a little something there for Ty Lue. So you get the reasoning. And, this is another team, like, happy with their squad and sort of like – it's not all that different than the Cavs, right? Like feeling like, hey, we're a piece away here from really doing something. They get Hunter, Bogdanović going to the Clippers. I think it's maybe a level down, but same idea that they're really comfortable with this team and there's a role for him. And here we go.
That's why the Western Conference has gotten super fun over the last few days. The Lakers make their move and everybody else making moves as well. I mean, the Kings jumping in, the Spurs jumping in. It's going to be a competitive couple months.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that was a new camera angle. I like when you were asking, that is Cody Martin, right? That got traded to the Phoenix Suns. I understand your confusion maybe, or your hesitation. All 3 Martins have been traded at this deadline.
All Martins.
Caleb Martin, Cody Martin, and their forgotten third brother. No, I'm just kidding, not brother. KJ Martin. All 3. Martins have been traded here. It's the Martin trade deadline. So yeah, Cody is the one going to Phoenix. I can't even remember where Caleb is.
No, he just got traded.
Yeah, where
Dallas
is he?
Mavericks.
He's in Dallas. Thank you.
And that trade turned into something else today too because he's hurt. So apparently Philadelphia had to kick in.
Oh yeah.
Yet another second-round pick. But man, the Phoenix Suns throughout their history, these guys are obsessed with brothers.
You know why?
Dick and Tom.
It all started with the Dick and Tom Van Arsdales.
Yeah, like off the top of my head, I remember they had Blake Griffin's brother. Brooke Lopez's brother.
Nice call.
They've got
have they had
Caleb Martin's brother
have
right
they
now.
had 2 Plum Dogs?
They've had both Plumleys.
Yep.
They have Trey Jones's brother, Tyus.
How many holidays have made it to Phoenix?
I don't think they've ever had a holiday.
Never had a holiday? Well, they should take a day off. Maybe that's why they wouldn't be so frustrated with each other. We even only do 5 shows a week normally. Okay, do we see each other on the weekends? Sometimes. It's refreshing. You got to get away from each other. All right, let's. You got any more thoughts on either the new breaking news there, Clippers Hawks, or even the one we were talking about? Suns, Hornets.
I was just checking on John and Brent Barry, see if they played in Phoenix.
Both Morris brothers.
Hey, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Great,
they
good
shared a bank
suggestion.
account there.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
more
Protocol.
eyes.
Jeez.
Well done.
Well, does I
about-
guess I was trying to think. Like, does Kevin Durant have a brother? I don't know.
He does. I think he does have a brother that used to like always show up at Oklahoma City Thunder games.
Yeah.
Sign him.
Oh, yeah,
Get
he
him.
does. He does.
Maybe make him happy at least. All right, we had another couple minor trades here as we continue to wait on some that come in. The Miami Heat acquired guard Davion Mitchell from the Toronto Raptors in exchange for PJ Tucker, a second-round pick, and cash. I don't think PJ Tucker is going to play for the Toronto Raptors, but it is pretty amazing that this is the third time Tucker's been on the Raps. Oh, like going back so as far as 2005 or 6, and then again in 2016, and now again in 2025. Tucker has made his way there, at least in transactional fashion, to the Raps. Just wild.
It is wild.
But Davion Mitchell is the piece here going to the Heat. I'd like to see what Spo can get out of him.
That's true. If there's anyone that's Heat culture in this trade, it's Davion Mitchell, who gets after it defensively. But the Toronto Raptors have Jamal Shed taking his role as going to be the backup point guard.
Yeah.
Soon Emmanuel quickly takes on a full-time job. But it is wild that at the beginning of this season, I mean, it was the offseason, it was around draft day, that the trade for Davion Mitchell, Sasha Vezenkov, and a second-round pick that ended up being Jamal Shed for Jalen McDaniels. All that's left for these two teams is Jamal Shed. I mean, everybody else is.
Wow.
Jalen's out of the league. Sasha Vezenkov is hitting shots for Olympiacos. Did you see he had a 45-point game with only 2 dribbles and 1 free throw
Damn,
made?
Klay Thompson.
That guy can shoot
Respect.
it, baby.
That guy was just like, damn, I'm not built for this league.
You got a dribble here?
I'm pretty awesome overseas, but holy crap, I'm screwed here. But okay, yeah, that is pretty amazing. That Shed of all those guys.
Shed of all those guys
Yeah.
has ended up still with those two teams.
I mean, he's a rookie. So,
Yeah.
good thing he hasn't been cut yet. Give him time.
Yeah.
He's got the same game as Davion Mitchell, and it's a hard archetype to stay.
Yep.
And to have staying power in the NBA. You got to eventually develop some sort of offensive game. Otherwise, you're going to get game planned out, and you're not going to be in a part of rotation. That's what's happened for Davion Mitchell in 2 spots now. Maybe the Heat figure things out with him.
And I will say, when it comes to the Raptors, again, about 30 minutes till the deadline, though things can come in after that. Will they trade Chris Boucher? And who wants him? We've talked him up for a while here on No Dunks. He's played really well this season in a limited opportunity. Shot it really well. Had some big games. Obviously a stretch big. Gives you some defense, though. Lanky guy. Nuggets have been tied to him for a long time. I think making that work is difficult in terms of the numbers. Is there another team I'm forgetting that you could see them wanting in on the Chris Boucher trade deadline experience here?
Warriors, maybe? Like, they're allegedly interested in a stretch big.
Yeah, I could see the fit.
He's got Warrior ties, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
What is he,
he's
like a
played
G
for
leaguer?
the
Play
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It seems like he has to be dealt because he's not going to be long for the Toronto Raptors. I don't see them signing him this offseason. He's a free agent.
Right.
Yeah, that would make sense. There's a bunch of teams. Now, he is a streaky guy. There's no doubt
Yes.
about that.
Yes.
He has great peaks.
He's on a good hot streak right now.
Yes.
Well timed, yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfectly timed.
He absolutely is. So that's one name everybody's watching. Who else comes to mind? That obviously the Vucevic, is he being dealt? Are the Bulls
might be a
moving
bull
off
for
him?
life here,
Oh, a
Skeets.
bull for life. Jesus.
The pipeline is dry, is what it sounds like.
Oh no.
Turns out the basketball reference splits are available to everyone, so you can go and see Vooch shooting under 30% for a month. Not great.
You don't think they maybe cashed in when they should have in 2024, the calendar year of this season?
Yes,
Right,
yeah,
right,
that would have
right.
been the ideal time. But just to circle back, Aaron Holiday did play for the
Yeah.
Phoenix
All
Suns.
right. All right. Sweet.
And of course, they had
Shocking.
Goran and Zoran Dragic.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's insane.
Ash, we've
man.
got a short. We got to start
crazy.
working on a short. Brothers. Name the brothers that played for the Suns. Wow. That's insane. So there's only more and more brothers being added to this league.
Bryce James. He's gonna get drafted.
probably
James
get him.
Jones is gonna pick him.
They'll probably get him. And then in a very minor deal, the Milwaukee Bucks traded recently acquired Patrick Baldwin Jr. and cash to the Spurs. Pretty straightforward and simple deal here for the Bucks. Get the Spurs to take Baldwin, opens up a roster spot for Milwaukee, gives them a little bit more flexibility here, whether it's used at the deadline. Man, I said to you guys off the air, it's like real shot to your ego, I feel like, when you're traded to another team with cash. Like, do they hand it to you?
Can you take this with you?
You can take this bag with you to San Antonio and just show up.
Give this to R.C. Buford
hand
for
it
me.
over. I guess it's under what? Well, no, I was gonna say international rules. You gotta travel with under 10,000, don't you?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
So domestic, you're fine. But anyway, PBJ going to San Antonio. I'm sure you have a lot of takeaways.
Oh,
on this
no.
one.
I was just checking if Wade Baldwin IV was his brother. That's what I was checking.
Why, the Suns are interested?
Yes. Yeah. Wade Baldwin went to high school in Metuchen, New Jersey. That's where our man John Schumann is from.
Is it really?
You remember what? That's where he lives. Every time every time Schumann comes on NBA doc or NBA TV, you see the little graphic. It says Metuchen, New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool story.
I didn't know.
You remember, I thought Wade Baldwin was going to be a player. Remember, we called that summer league game. Wade Baldwin was playing right in front of us.
He was.
A mere few feet. Wade Baldwin IV.
Yeah, the fourth. I remember that.
Yeah. So
He said, bad tude for Wade.
yeah, he
I didn't
didn't,
like Wade's tude.
Oh.
Yeah, not a big fan. We missed it. Gary Trent Jr. was playing in that game. We never talked him up.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if we did or didn't.
Holy crap. Wade
But he was
Baldwin
there.
hasn't been in the league since 2019?
yeah.
Holy
It's
crap.
shocking.
He got one contract, right?
That's
yeah,
it,
he
yeah.
only played. Well, yeah, he played for the Grizz and then Blazers.
I guess.
That's
And
it.
They're like, nope, too much tude.
Have we ever had a fifth?
Wade
we've-
Baldwin?
No, not just specifically Baldwins. We obviously
Alex,
have.
Steven. Oh.
Like, I mean,
Wait,
like, you know what I'm getting at.
Patrick.
We've had juniors or twos. We
fair.
have threes. We had one traded earlier, Lindy Waters the third.
Okay.
We're
AC
talking
Law the
four
fourth, of
here
course.
in AC Law, Baldwin the fourth.
classic.
Have we had a five, the V?
I don't think so.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That'll be special, won't it?
That would be cool.
I can't wait. I can't wait. That's where we are with this deadline.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell we've ran out of like hot trades right now because we're naming brothers and where John Schumann is from, and which generations of players have made it to the NBA.
Do you think we'll see a John Schumann the fifth? Shoe five.
I think Schumann will be. Oh, he's here. I was going to say Schumann's going to be here to correct my pronunciation of whether it's Metuchen or Metuchen.
God.
I tried both. Anyways,
Hashtag well actually. here in the
John
stream
Schumann, speaking in the third person here on the stream team, he says he's not from Metuchen, but he played at St. Joe's in Metuchen, same as Towns, Andrew Bynum, and Jay Williams.
No,
So
he was
speaking
talking about
of
the
Baldwin,
player,
yeah,
yeah.
I thought he was talking about himself. Well, I did say, yeah, he's played high school there. Sorry, he was playing out of town, out of county, I suppose, when he was playing high school.
They're recruiting, huh?
I can't believe our trade deadline special has turned into
We've
us
done-
talking about Wade Baldwin the fourth. This is worse than us talking about DeAnthony Melton when Jimmy Butler got traded the other night.
Oh, no, I've got something to announce. It's
All right.
touching. Metuchen. Schumann made that known. Metuchen, New Jersey. Every
Metuchen.
time. What would you say it was
Yeah.
pronounced? Like Metuchen.
Yeah, that's not easy.
I would go Tooch.
Matooch.
Yeah, Metuchen.
Stanley Matuchin.
We've done a show on each of the trades. It's not like we're skipping the
No,
trades.
no, but I mean, I was
You're
going,
right.
I was going to circle back to all of the big deals we've had over the last couple of days. And if there's anything that's like jumped into your mind since, be it the Luka trade, obviously the Jimmy trade, the Ingram trade, the Mark Williams trade, you know, is there anything that you've read, you've seen, you've thought about, change your opinion on anything when it comes to those deals?
Oh, you were asking me?
I'm asking the
Whoever
guys
wants
I'm doing a podcast
Bro, I
with.
haven't had a chance to read anything. We've been in the factory nonstop. The 2 hours we had off, Tass went and got us food, and we went on another podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I haven't read a single thing.
Okay.
Well, I figured it was yours to answer because you did go on the Athletic NBA show for probably 40 minutes.
Yeah, Jesus. I was waiting to get on. This guy wouldn't stop talking. He was dropping a lot of bars. He was dropping a lot of info, yeah.
So, yeah, I figured you've talked about it, even though you haven't read it. Maybe you got other thoughts.
Well, I've been wondering to go way back to the mega blockbuster that set everything off. Has there been anyone out there, because I've yet to really read it or hear it or see it, like making the case for Nico Harrison and why they made an amazing move of moving Luka for Anthony Davis. Like you just keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again, and I just want to know: is there anyone, be it in the media, a blogger, like that someone's like dug in their heels and like swerved is what I'm getting at here? I'm like, you fools.
I did see one single tweet
Okay.
breaking down the Mavericks depth chart. And I gotta say, it looked nice.
Okay.
It looked nice. If you
Okay.
didn't know Luka Doncic was there previously, you would be thinking this is a good team.
You'd be like, damn.
yeah, you'd be
yeah.
like, all right. Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, they're both playing really well this season. We all had Kyrie as an all-star. Anthony Davis is an all-star. Klay Thompson is there. Hasn't had a great season, but we know he's a good player. PJ Washington is good. They've got a deep team. If you're looking at it without knowing how it came to be, you might be a little more excited, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got some more breaking news here. And it is not worth interrupting this great conversation we're having. Trust me. But before we went live on the air, Tass Mellis, you were like, where's Cody Zeller? Has anybody seen Cody Zeller? Because we were like, isn't he on the Hawks?
He's a member of
You
the
were
Atlanta
asking
Hawks.
Esh, hey, you're down at the arena a lot. You ever seen Cody Zeller walking
Seen
around?
him?
Yeah, have you seen him?
And he said no.
Yeah.
Well, he's been traded
Okay.
from the Atlanta Hawks and Houston's 2028 second-round pick to the Rockets. So the pick is coming back.
They're getting Cody Zeller and their pick back.
Yeah,
All
if
right.
Shams
Yeah.
has written this tweet correctly. I'm sure he's a little loopy as well, a little tired. It says, quote, the Atlanta Hawks are trading Cody Zeller and Houston's 2028 second-round pick to the Rockets. That could be a typo, but but also good luck keeping track of these second-round picks and all these picks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
You just need them for today.
Yeah,
Basically, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
on trade deadline day, if you need to get underneath the tax, which the Atlanta Hawks are trying to do here.
Yeah.
When the Cody Zeller move, you throw in a second-round pick, and you're under the tax.
Right.
It looks good to your owner.
Yeah, Cody Zeller surprisingly had 2 more guaranteed years on his contract. Has 2 more guaranteed
Wow.
years on his contract, which is kind of shocking.
What happened there?
Yeah, what did happen there? That was signed by the Pelicans, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's where he came from
By
in the
David
trade.
Griffin?
Yeah.
You just
yeah.
thought he was
Came
getting
with
an
Larry Nance and
inexpensive-
DeJounte, right?
An
In that deal?
inexpensive center
In that
because
move?
it's a cheap
Or
cheap
Daniels.
deal. But
Yeah,
anyways,
it's a cheapy boy.
the Atlanta Hawks they're moving on.
They are.
They're getting rid of Cody Zeller's long-term deal.
Keep
They've
going,
gotten rid
man.
of
Keep going. Capella, you're next. This is the right move. What they're doing here.
Yeah,
I mean, for their future. I mean, they're not trading obviously their pieces they believe in, like Trae Young. Still, Dyson Daniels, of course, a new addition, been great. Jalen Johnson, as we talked about, their new hopeful second star. Okongwu, I think
Had a great game last
they
night.
like, in that role. But everybody else available.
yeah.
Call us.
Now they took on some money in Terrence Mann, who I'm sure they appreciate. They like him as a player.
Sure.
He's got 3 more years at $15 million beyond this year. So because he did sign a pretty what looked like a really good deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. So next season under contract. Me reading into the leaves here. It's Trae Young. It's Okongwu. It's Reese Shea. It's Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson still, Kobe Buffkin, no longer Cody Zeller, Vit Krejci, and George Niang, who has a guaranteed deal next year, and Terrence Mann. That's it. So it's changed. The game is
re-sign
changing.
LeVert.
Say
Like,
that.
maybe
Seriously?
resign LeVert.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
assume they will.
Yeah,
After, they just traded
after
for
all
him.
this stuff, yeah. Do you know Cody Zeller's basketball reference nickname? I would say it's an ironic nickname.
Hops.
Nice.
No,
Full
that's
head of
good.
hair.
Well, okay,
Cheat code.
you're
Cheat
getting
code.
there. Full head of hair.
I like cheat code.
Cheat code.
Cheat Cody.
No, it's the big handsome.
Is it looks or his hands?
Handsome.
Yeah, I figured.
It could be about he does have some hands,
Yeah, he's a big guy.
but I think it's more about his looks.
That guy's he's a future son. Watch him pick him up. He's got brothers.
He's another brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's bounced around here, I guess. He played for the Hornets for a very long
Yeah.
time, and then was Blazers, where he broke his nose, and then he was Heat, then he was Pelicans, and then he was Hawks, though he never played for the Hawks.
He was
Hence
just
why
part
we
of a
never saw
contract,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wondered.
And then, obviously, now getting traded to the Rockets, if will he ever play a second there, too. Probably not.
Yeah, do we want to circle all the way back to what Trey was talking
sure.
about with the Luka Doncic, if we've seen anything different? Oh, no, we've got somebody who's got something to say.
Oh, I love when Esh picks up the mic. Yeah.
I feel like a sideline reporter over here. But, Dennis Schroeder is going to Detroit.
Okay.
That's just part of the Jimmy Butler deal.
So he's not going to the Jazz?
Nope. It says he's being rerouted to Detroit, part of the Jimmy Butler deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So the Detroit Pistons would be his 10th team if he ever suits up, because you don't count the Jazz.
No.
No. That would be his 10th.
Who did Utah get in this deal then?
Probably
For Jimmy
picks.
Butler.
somehow they got some second-round picks.
Okay.
They didn't get Kyle Anderson, did they?
No,
He's on the Heat, from
He's
what
a
we
Heat,
know.
not a Raptor.
No, yeah.
Were they in this trade? Were they really in this trade?
That's what I'm saying.
they
They
were.
may not be now.
Yeah.
Well, Schroeder was going to the Jazz.
Interesting.
And then Lindy Waters III and Josh Richardson was going to the Pistons. This is how we got it first told to us.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff going to Miami, obviously Wiggins and Kyle Anderson and maybe one more I'm forgetting. Yeah, that was a part of the whole Jimmy thing. But maybe the Jazz are not even included.
Okay, Dennis Schroeder could be of use for the Detroit
Pistons?
Pistons with Jaden Ivey's injury. They don't
Yeah.
have a lot of ball handlers. Schroeder was good for the Nets. He was bad for the Warriors. Less pressure, I would have to imagine, in Detroit, and they'll take any sort of second ball handler contribution. So I think decent for them to get involved here and actually get a player who they might be able to use for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's a great point. Dennis Schroeder has had a really, really good season before he got to Golden State. He was fantastic for the Brooklyn Nets this year. He was dropping 18 and 45% from the floor, 39% from three. And I'm slightly rounding up because it is trade deadline day, and you got to be optimistic when you make a trade. But those are great numbers. And so, yes, for a second
fell
unit,
off a cliff when he went to Golden State. He shot 37% from the field.
Not good.
Not even three.
Yeah.
That'd be fine, but from the field.
I thought immediately he'd go to the bench because the Warriors were in pain when Steph would go to the bench.
Yeah.
They needed somebody to run that second unit, so I thought he fit perfectly there.
Oh, you're putting this on Steve Kerr,
Yeah,
right?
I really am.
Wow.
I just realized that. How I think.
Could have
sitting
used
here-
Schroeder better, Steve.
Me sitting here talking about Wade Baldwin IV and how I saw a future for him. Same guy calling across the world, across the continent, saying, "Steve Kerr, what are you doing?"
What are you doing?
No, he's just a talented guy. That is for sure.
Any other breaking news? I'm just doing a little scroll job here. Not seeing anything.
Do you
as
call,
we
is
get
this
to 15
considered
minutes.
breaking news? Casey Johnson reporting out of Chicago that the Bulls have had a lot of talks surrounding Nikola Vucevic. There will be plenty of groundwork for an off-season move.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Vucci here.
Yeah.
Let's
buddy.
He looks like he's gonna stay, right?
let's talk through this Bulls lineup. Who we got? We got Giddey.
Giddy, Herter,
Yeah.
Buzelis,
Yeah.
Collins, Vooch,
Trey Jones off the bench.
Trey Jones. They didn't do it. Yeah, you're right. They signed Lonzo Ball to an
Oh,
extension.
Lonzo Ball. Yeah, extension. Yeah. All right. That's it. You're going to hey, look. You're getting
Hey.
Cooper Flag, baby.
He fits in with that starting lineup. Look, the Bulls could still make a run at the 10th seed. I assume they are going to be in the play-in tournament this season and next now. Not ideal. Not my favorite. Yeah.
Let me give you Fred Katz's thoughts on the DeAndre Hunter move. He loves it.
For who?
Katz loves it for Cleveland.
Right.
I'm into it. Cleveland, they've been on the prowl for someone to slot in to their elite bigs and their elite guards, their pairs basically at those positions. The Cavs have rotated Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert into and out of that spot. Now we'll see if Hunter can occupy it, but this gets to what we were talking about. Does he start? Does he come off the bench? No question. He's in the midst of his best season ever, and that's not just because he's averaging a career high in points and efficiency. He's been a stronger driver than ever. He's playing more physically. And if the season ended today, he would be one of the few guys mentioned for Sixth Man of the Year. This also seems to be a bet on LeVert's career best shooting splits to come back to earth. Cleveland got a little better today. Again, that's Fred Katz at The Athletic. Sort of echoing what you were saying. And yeah, the Karis LeVert part is fair. Like, he's shooting 40% from three. I think Hunter's shooting well. Karis LeVert's been on fire.
Is that a really good year?
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they do start him, especially out of the gate. If there's a matchup, yes, start him. But he has become such a good driver. That's what he does. He is just straight line driver and less of a playmaker than Karis LeVert. I don't imagine a world where he plays with Donovan and Garland and the bigs, and he doesn't pass the ball a lot because he's just gotten so good at being a sixth man. And so I do see him coming off the bench.
A part of that Cody Zeller move, Kelly Iko of The Athletic, included, in exchange, Boston is acquiring the rights to Alpha Kaba.
That's not a name.
Alpha Kaba.
That's like the stuff that's left over in a can of chickpeas, right?
Yeah, great call. Yeah.
No,
Apparently,
So
the Hawks originally drafted this guy, says Hollinger.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does Boston have to do with
It's got to
this?
be a typo because that's
Houston?
even Hollinger saying the Hawks are getting Alpha.
He's just
made up people at this point.
a type A, type alpha.
I don't know.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah, I'm just starting to think that I'm excited for
I'm gonna
DeAndre.
take a sip of my ginger.
People
gone too
people
far.
are saying that's the main character in Wicked.
Oh, yeah. She is. Good call. Anyways,
What were you gonna say?
no,
Defy gravity.
we need to eat sometime. I am excited to see DeAndre Hunter in fourth quarters, whether he starts or finishes. The guy has been able to finish games for the Atlanta Hawks. He's come through in the fourth quarter. I could flash back to his dunk on Victor Wembanyama with 10 seconds left in the game where he smashed it on Victor, then he stared at him. Forget about that. He's just a really good fourth quarter player this season. Let's go back to the Los Angeles Lakers talk.
Okay.
Because it is interesting. As a Dallas Mavericks fan, of course, your heart was taken out of your body when Luka was traded. But now...
Even Spencer Dinwiddie agreed with that. He I feel bad for Mavs fans. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but you basically had Dirk 2.0.
Right.
And then he's just taken from you.
And then,
Damn. He's on the team saying that.
Yeah.
But
and then today when they traded, or it was yesterday when they traded Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin, and today you get the report that, Caleb Martin was going to come back and play, but after the physicals, he's going to be out for a while. That is just a double stab in the back. I mean, that must hurt. He's got a hip sprain. I'm reading Mark Stein's initial tweet where he called it a hip strain, but then he corrected himself to a hip sprain. Anyway, he's not going to be playing. Somebody they traded a good player for in Quentin Grimes. That guy was producing for them. This is going to be an awful...
But, okay, hold on. It's funny how you set that up. It's the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers, of all teams, for not a lot. Not a lot. I mean, Anthony Davis, obviously a good player, but
he's a
much smaller package than you would have thought. So Mavs fans are like, oh my God, you're killing us, Nico. What are you doing? You've almost lost me as a fan. And then you're saying they trade for Caleb Martin and they find out, oh my God, this guy's injured. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
That puts him over the end. No,
that's not what I said. But when Trey was saying, remove your head, forget about the trade happening, and you just look at the roster and you see, okay, well, Anthony Davis, 10-time All-Star, he's still young enough. Kyrie, and then you see Caleb Martin. We got this guy. He's hurt. What are we doing here? I mean, they got to go for it now, or else next year they're going to be a year older.
All
That's
I
the
keep
scary
thinking
part.
about with the Luka going to the Lakers and the Mavericks getting AD, all I keep thinking about is Nico Harrison is the guy at the blackjack table that has 19, and he's like, hit me. Everybody's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. He's like, hit me. I'm a gambler, baby. There might be an ace. There might be a 2 under there. I might get a blackjack. Everybody's going, what? No, don't do that. And he's like, hold on. And he's just like, I'm a gambler.
He's a card counter.
Here's the
You're straight
thing.
up calling him Austin Powers right now. He clearly likes to live dangerously.
My point is, okay, there's a 1% chance he looks like the genius. The ace turns up or the 2 turns up or whatever, and he hits it. But it's more likely, as everybody has said, that's probably dumb, man. I get it. You want to swerve here. You want to go against the grain. You really wanted AD, and you wanted to get ahead of this Luka thing, even though he never said he wanted to leave. I think we're all going to be right, but to me, he's that guy. Go and hit me.
I think
Sir, you're at 21 already. Oh, give me another one.
I think he knows this is the last card in the deck that's coming. He's counted every single card.
Wow.
He knows
okay.
there's only
all right, Rain Man.
There's only a 2 left in those 8 decks that they've served that they've dealt at the table. There's a 2 left for you. He's light years ahead.
Well, that's what he is basically trying to sell us on, yeah.
He watched a team lose to the Boston Celtics last year in the playoffs. Boston Celtics only upped their 3-point attempts this year. So now you need to be able to play defense as fast as possible to get up. So he is okay.
Man.
I mean, I'm just trying to find a reason.
No, I mean
I like
that's
it,
been
yeah.
said a lot. Like this idea, like wow, he saw something in the finals, and he was like, I got to get off of Luka. It's just, it's one thing when you say that if it's the first round of the playoffs. It's another when you're saying it for the finals, and you're saying it about a guy who's
Carried your team there.
one of the best players we've ever seen. You know, it's just mind-boggling that part. But maybe he'll be proven to be right. Maybe a 2 pops up or an ace.
Yeah, that's right.
We do know who's going back to Utah
Oh, okay.
for Dennis Schroeder.
In the Jimmy Butler deal.
KJ Martin, Josh Richardson, and a 2028 second-round pick from Detroit to Utah.
Oh,
for
okay.
Dennis
So
Schroeder.
all the original machinations of that trade were actually wrong. They're rerouted different spots. I see. Or are you saying this is a completely separate trade?
Well, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't know for sure.
Because it's
honest.
either the first iteration of that trade was wrong because it had Schroeder going to the Jazz, Josh Richardson going to the Pistons, and then it's been tweaked to go to the right spot, or this is another trade.
Yeah, it could be another trade.
Yeah.
Jake Fisher reporting that it's going to be KJ Martin, Josh Richardson, 28th second-round pick for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it could be a separate trade.
Okay. So, wow. All right.
A lot was going on.
A lot.
Trade
Utah.
ski
A
right
lot
there.
going on
yeah.
with that.
Oh, we got a new one. Thank you, Shams, at the last second. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Marcus Smart
Oh,
and a 2025 first-round pick to the Wizards in a multi-team trade that sends 2 second-round picks to Memphis. Memphis creates roster flexibility.
whoa, that was it. I was waiting for the name coming back.
No name yet back reported. So Marcus, a salary dump for the
Yes.
Grizzlies, putting on their 2025 pick, which they're second in the Western Conference right now, so it's 24. I don't know off the top. Doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. 26 probably.
Yeah.
Off the top of my
Back
head.
end of the first round.
Yeah, back end of the first round. They're usually a really good drafting team, but they've also got a ton of players on their roster right now. Vince Williams just came back for the Grizzlies as well. Gigi Jackson in the lineup too.
Yeah.
So Smart's been hurt for a while and didn't play a ton last season either. I think
No,
probably
he's played under 40 games
yeah,
for
I
Memphis
think
over
they're
2 seasons.
happy to wash their hands of him. Say the experiment didn't quite work out for us.
Right, but
Still,
cost them a pick to get
yeah.
off of it, and
Yep.
good work by the Wizards who have put themselves in this position. Like, yeah, we'll take anybody as long as you got draft capital coming our way. No problem.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are playing so many guys that they're fine letting go of a good contract, a good rookie that they would draft in a late first-round pick because they just are playing so many guys. And they're comfortable letting go Marcus Smart for the exact same reason. A guy guaranteed $21 million when they're already playing, obviously, Ja Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr., but you mentioned guys deep in the rotation like Vince Williams, Laravia, Gigi Jackson coming back with some beautiful blocks. They got so many rotation guys, so it made sense. Marcus Smart just wasn't, unfortunately, the same player physically either.
Yeah, so Marcus Smart makes about $20 million this year, and then you said it tasked $21.5 for next season. That is guaranteed money as well. That's not any sort of option on that. Yeah, Grizzlies just work, cleaning up the books a little bit.
Clean up the books.
They have so many injured guys. The Washington Wizards, so many injured old guys. Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon.
Middleton, I guess. To some
Chris
extent.
Middleton. Yeah, guys who are banged up or whose bodies aren't the same as they once were. There should be something done on that. Like, the guys.
Marcus, Malcolm, and Middleton. Really makes you think. Turn a W upside down. You got a bunch of M's.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The Illuminati. I don't disagree with you there. I think this is maybe true from you already know in the stream team. You're going to be taking damaged goods if you trade with the Celtics.
Yeah.
Think about the guys they've traded.
Wow.
Robert Williams off the court for the most of the time. He's been playing recently. Malcolm Brogdon, same thing. Marcus Smart, same thing. Watch out.
Did dirty to Isaiah Thomas.
Yes, who was injured when they traded him.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we've got something from our refrigerator reporter over here.
Hey, what's in there? Yeah. You got any ginger ales left?
The Clippers are trading Kevin Porter Jr. to the Milwaukee Bucks for Marjon Beauchamp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Wow, we got yourselves a trade for that. Wow. Kevin Porter Jr. to the Bucks for Marjon Beauchamp. And was that it?
That's all it says
Is that all
so
he
far.
said? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the Kings are acquiring Jake LaRavia from the Grizzlies.
Oh,
interesting.
Whoa. Right. They really are leaning into we got too many guys.
Yeah, they do have too many guys.
That's a good get for the Kings. Like, Laravia, basically the Grizzlies declined his option this year, so they didn't have the standard, like, rookie contract sort of stuff to be able to extend him.
Yep.
He outplayed what they thought he was going to this year, I think. He's had a really solid season. He's a good rebounder for a wing, I think, and it'll just give a little depth to a Kings team. So I think that's kind of nice, and I'm not a big fan of Kevin Porter Jr., but I think he can help Milwaukee a lot more than Marjon Beauchamp does. Beauchamp was at the end of the bench. Maybe Porter, Skeets, you're going to love this, he might be able to win you a quarter. He might.
Yeah.
The dude can get hot.
Yeah.
I'll say that. He can handle the ball. He can get hot. He's a terrible decision maker. He shoots too much, and he's a black hole. But sometimes he's hitting.
Yeah. Hollinger wrote that there were whispers out there this week that the Clippers wanted out of the Kevin Porter Jr. business, and Bucks save a little money here against the tax. They get another shot creator, like you said. He can get hot. He has a player option, KPJ does, on his minimum deal for next season. But Beauchamp going to the Clips. So Clips getting active here at the end.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're comfortable getting rid of Kevin Porter Jr. after getting Bogdan Bogdanović as well. He is their guy off the bench.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to be their guy. It's an interesting team with this Los Angeles Clippers team. Can we talk ourselves into a championship contender with a bunch of guys? You know, Kawhi leading the way, along with Bogdan Bogdanović, guys who just haven't been amazing physically. But you look at that talent, and there is a ton of it. So, yeah. I mean, it's just a really, really good basketball team as far as their careers and what they've accomplished. But will they be able to play is the question.
We've hit the 3 p.m. official trade deadline. Those things in years past have come in after 3 p.m. It has to be filed with the league offices.
Call it in.
By 3 p.m. And then sometimes, again, we get the news of a trade or two. I can't remember for the life of me anything of note coming, after the deadline, like a big name, a big deal, a shocking one. It's usually of this variety, like a Beauchamp for KPJ, and picks or whatever. But, yeah, we got something else. So please shut me up right now and say LeBron James was traded.
Man, I wish. It's James Wiseman going from the Pacers to the Raptors.
Oh, God damn it.
Let's go.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
What's going on? What is that?
James Wiseman.
Giving
all right. Cool.
The Raps have been
Number 2 pick. Reclamation product.
What were you going to say?
He's hurt. He's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Raptors have been taking on money because it behooves them to take on money. But in this instance, it's not about money, I don't think.
They're sending cash with.
Ah.
You got to declare it. Crossing the border.
Oh, you better not be more than 10,000.
There you go. It is about the dollars.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony Slater saying here the Warriors, officially done making moves from his sources. Jimmy Butler, the lone deadline acquisition. They generated 3 extra roster spots in doing that. I guess was a 4-for-1 deal in the end. So Quentin Post, a two-way guy, he will be elevated into one of those vacancies, and I guess there'll be a buyout market sort of team to fill out the roster. And the Timberwolves are standing pat as well. John Krasinski is telling the Athletic crew here. So they're not doing anything. Julius Randle is injured. We thought he would be maybe one of the names explored at least. That's it.
Nothing for the Bulls. Nothing for, I'm seeing from Matt Moore, nothing for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
I saw Portland Trailblazers fans were a little curious why they aren't making moves because they have some veterans who maybe could have some allure around the league, whether it be Robert Williams or Jeremy Grant. My guess is that they're probably asking for prices that teams didn't want to pay.
Yeah.
I would imagine Portland probably thinks either of those guys is worth a first-round pick. The league probably disagrees, so they stick around.
Yeah, it feels like the Nets were probably asking for multiple first-round picks for Cam Johnson, just like set it super high, see if anyone bites. He stays there. A little surprised the Magic didn't do anything here at all in terms of trying to get some shot creation in their backcourt and shot making. Doesn't seem like they have. They were tied to a few interesting names. Kobe White we kept talking up and some other guys out there, but looks like James Wiseman is the one at the buzzer. Started with Luka, ended with James Wiseman.
Interesting. James Wiseman drafted higher than Luka.
That's right. What were you gonna say there?
Drafts are weird.
Well, yeah, the James Wiseman coming with cash. I wonder if he sold his NBA ring, his championship ring.
Oh,
Forgot that he got a ring.
I would hope not.
I guess he gets a ring for being on the Warriors at the time. I suppose. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Just looking for the best insight here on NBA
Well,
trade
Hollander
deadline
says
day.
with them getting Wiseman that they might be interested in the team option that he has for next season, right? You get to play with that. Again.
Oh, it
so
is a
cash
team
coming.
option.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's
yeah.
team option. So there's that part. Okay, here, I'm going to put you on the spot. Of all these deals we've had over the last week, let's call it, give me the top 5 when it comes to like the biggest difference makers for this NBA season in terms of obviously winning a championship or going deep into the postseason.
I mean, how's it not Luka Doncic number 1?
Hey, I didn't say you couldn't start with it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Luka AD trade changes the title picture.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I thought Dallas with Luka, assuming he got healthy in time for the playoffs, I thought they had a chance. You know, they've played well against the Thunder. They went to the finals last year. They were a well-made team around him. The Anthony Davis factor, who knows what they're going to look like. I think they probably took a little bit step back, but it could work out the way Nico Harrison envisions it. That's a huge one.
Yeah. Now I'm intrigued when we get into these other ones. Is it immediate? Is it Jimmy Butler going to the Warriors? Or is there one that you are putting ahead of that? And maybe it's this like even if you're convinced Hunter is a move the needle.
It's one of those
two.
two. I think I don't know. I mean, the Warriors had a lot further to go to get into the title picture than the Cavs did. The Cavs are already there. I think the Cavs remain in the title picture, whereas the Warriors are now on the outskirts of the conference finals picture.
Okay.
Yeah. Of all the championship contenders, I think you would put a small group of the Cavs, Boston, and OKC in there. The guy that's going to make the biggest impact that was traded at the deadline is DeAndre Hunter.
Of those
teams, yeah. Because, of course, there's a chance.
The other ones didn't do much either.
They did not.
Right.
No. We didn't see much from the Grizzlies or the Rockets. It all depends on who you label as an NBA championship contender.
Okay.
But I think the West is so much fun to look at because it is that year where OKC hasn't been there to the NBA Finals quite yet. So if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you're excited for what you got, obviously. Obviously.
Yeah. Well, the Lakers, huge moves for this season and beyond. Obviously, the Warriors, it felt like they maybe even panicked, right? It was like, holy crap. Like, we really dragged our feet on making a significant move and significant upgrade, be it Markkanen, Paul George, other names. Obviously, we're always linked to them. We didn't do it. Then the Luka thing happens, and it's like, all right, can we get Kevin Durant? Can we get him back here? Oh, we can't? Okay. Well, let's go get Jimmy Butler. Like, they wanted to stay in contention at least. They got to get up there and they got to climb the rankings, but that's why they did that and went and got Jimmy Butler. The Clippers, around the fringes a little bit here, but trying to improve their team. I guess the Grizzlies doing sort of the opposite of adding talent. They're like more like, okay, let's get our books right as we move forward. And then the Rockets, they felt pretty comfortable with their squad in not doing much of anything, and that's okay. That's what the Thunder did last year. Got the reps, saw what pieces they needed, and then acted accordingly. And I think that's exactly what the Rockets should and will do here once we see what they look like in the postseason. But, yeah, then you got the Kings, and go on and on. Like, a lot of these teams sort of near that second half of the Western Conference trying to improve their squads to get in there. If you do believe it's open and you don't believe the Thunder will just steamroll everyone.
They just got Chet back.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty big trade deadline acquisition.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That was their acquisition.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Daniel Tice. A lot of depth now at the center position.
So many championships. That guy won
Tice?
with Germany. Yeah, he did. 2023. He was important.
He did. He was great. He was great. So was Obst. Hitting threes in the corner. I'll always remember that.
That's crazy. Miles Turner still a Pacer, man.
Yes, Miles Turner has tweeted, I believe, a crying emoji or a single tear emoji with a photo, and this is an incredible tie-in to No Buffs, the Survivor logo. So Miles Turner, from what I can tell, is saying, has survived another trade deadline.
There you go.
And usually his name is in a lot more trade rumors.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much this year.
It didn't seem like Indiana was shopping him.
Yeah.
More like, in particular, Golden State was like, we could go for Miles Turner.
He would work. He would work here. But yeah, Survivor, no buffs coming back soon. Season 48 starts up in mere weeks. We got new logos we're going to be launching. Shout out to our guy, Graphic Mark. What a synergy, man. JD, come on.
Great. That was great.
That was natural. That was just a natural plug for our other podcast.
I loved it.
Thanks to Miles Turner. All right, should we call it there? Or should we give it another 5 minutes or so?
You think we're going to get one more trick?
I honestly don't think so. We will be back tomorrow to do the Drop podcast. We'll do winners and losers of the NBA trade week, really, not trade deadline day. Obviously pick our favorites, the perplexing ones. We usually do that on the Friday. Maybe worst of the week, TBD. Maybe 5-star reviews, TBD. And we'll do rapid fire. You can lock that in for sure. So that's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern here from the Classic Factory.
Kevin Durant's not going to be traded, as I see here in the Athletics Slack. Mike Prada asks, are we 100% safe to say that Kevin Durant is staying in Phoenix? Zach Harper replied, until the summer, yes. You never know. Although, I'm not going to give you a behind the scenes as to what's happening here with the headline decision, but they're making some plays. They're waiting it out, so maybe we got a few more minutes to kill. No, it doesn't look like he's being dealt.
They're just trying to figure out the SEO for that headline with
Correct.
Kevin Durant.
Correct.
Okay, he's not staying, but like we did talk about it, and I think we got derailed maybe with the trade. But like, I'm fascinated to see how he goes about the second half of this season after the All-Star break.
You think he should be mad because his name was in?
I just think
these
Kevin
trade
Durant
rumors?
can take these things personally, yeah, and can let it affect him and be a bad mood. It feels like he's obviously butting heads with someone in this locker room too. I don't know, be it coaching staff or players. There's something going on here in terms of the vibes are bad. And that's the key with Kevin Durant. Your vibes got to be high when this guy comes in. You got to be able to survive those days where I feel like KD's maybe not in the best mood because he's look, the guy is one of the greatest players of all time. Period. But no one's gonna say Kevin Durant was one of the greatest leaders of all time, right? And this is the situation I think they're in here.
Yep. And, I mean, they traded their starting center. Well, one-time starting center. And Jusuf Nurkic, I guess he has been replaced. Yeah. So the only move they really made was bringing in Nick Richards.
Yeah.
That's not a big improvement. It seems like the Suns' idea for the second half of the season is to just play better. Like, that's it. That's their plan for the rest of the season. We have to play better.
And look, there were stretches where they played really good basketball. They started this season on fire. And then they were bad. Then they sort of bounced back. And now they're bad again. You're right, Bo. Their big moves are Nick Richards and a Martin. Those are their additions. And it's all because of Bradley Beal's no trade clause. Which is just amazing.
He's just chilling, man. The whole time he's like, yeah, I'm not going
Are
to
more players going to start demanding no trade clauses?
I think there'll be none signed.
None
allowed.
So the opposite will happen. No teams will allow them.
Yeah, or the NBA will say, hey, trades are good for the league if you want to make them.
Well, right.
Maybe it's not mandated that you can or cannot have them in a contract, and that's not part of the CBA. So I can't say that the NBA is going to mandate that. But at the same time, trades are good.
But if you're another player in this league and you saw what power Beal did have,
right?
I mean, you'd be wise to have your agent ask for it at the very least. I know there would be a negotiation, but that's where you do have leverage when they're like, the Wizards like, okay, we got to keep him. We got to sign him. Oh my God, got to give him the max. And then he was like, well, actually, one more thing. I want a no trade clause as well. Okay, fine.
I think Tass is right, is that it'll never happen. It's not going to happen anymore because of this. It's very complicated to get a no-trade clause.
Yeah.
You have to be with the same team for 10-plus years. The
true.
only other guy that has one is LeBron. There have been 10 guys in NBA history who have them. It's crazy that Bradley Beal is one of those, period. I think we're going to start seeing, with the way the CBA is, teams getting pretty hesitant to give young players this supermax contract. I don't think Bradley Beal in today's environment would get a supermax contract after his tenure with the Wizards, because they're like, this is going to hamstring our team building for a decade, which is the case right now. Look at them. They have 8 wins. after they traded Bradley Beal a year ago. So even factor in the way Nico Harrison was talking about Luka Doncic and how it seemed like they were kind of nervous to give Luka a Supermax contract, and that guy seems like the most surefire Supermax contract in the league. If they're hesitant on it, obviously a dumb move. You see the way this Bradley Beal thing is playing out. Teams are going to be more selective, I think, giving actual Supermaxes to only the guys who really deserve it, not our max guys. Same thing happened with Zach LaVine. Same thing happened with Brandon Ingram. They signed these huge deals, then nobody wanted them. It's going to make it important for front offices to not give those bad contracts. Otherwise, you're just shooting yourself in the foot for half a decade.
Yeah, especially now under the new CBA where trades become more difficult. You're doubling down on not being able to trade. If you sign your guy to a max deal now, it's difficult to make trades happen.
But you can always trade everybody. But you can't trade the guys that's got the no trade clause.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. I just think it would be smart of the players to try and keep the power, obviously.
Of course,
That's
they want them.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So we'll see. Bradley Beal, it's all your fault. It's amazing. Okay, we'll call it there. Let's call it there. Feel pretty good about it. Kevin Durant's still in Phoenix. We'll see how he bounces back. We'll be here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern with the Drop Podcast. Thanks to everybody that joined us today, either once or twice earlier this morning. Thanks to everybody for obviously downloading and listening and watching the Emergency Podcast that we've had a lot of fun doing this past week. We really appreciate it. If you're new here, hit the like button and subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Okay, till tomorrow, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want to catch up on any of the other trades that happened before the trade deadline, we did another 7 shows. So there's 8 shows you have to listen to if you want.
We actually have to do another show because the Thunder have waived Daniel Tice.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to win.
Just like that?
Just like that.
They don't want him?
They don't want him. Tice ain't nice. See you later. Brace the day, people.